answer questions. I ask you put your questions in the chat, and I'll answer as many as time allows until I wrap up at 1 o'clock. And now, let's unlace the proverbial boot and slip into the history of Red Wing Shoe Company. The story of Red Wing Shoe Company goes back as far as 1873. Charles Beckman arrives in Red Wing from Germany and works with S.B. Foote in the leather and footwear business. Then Beckman operates his own retail store in downtown Red Wing for several years. However, Beckman is frustrated that he can't source good fitting footwear for his customers. This leads him into the manufacturing business. Along with 14 other local investors, Beckman forms Red Wing Shoe Company in 1905. And Beckman serves as president from 1905 until 1911, and he passes away in 1912. The original factory is located in downtown Red Wing, and it has an originally set up as a one-story facility, and then the second and third story are added in 1908. In 1906, the factory is able to produce 110 pairs of shoes per 10-hour workday. These first shoes were peg and nail construction. By 1909, the era of this photo on the screen, the company is manufacturing shoes using stitched sole construction, also known as welting, which still is in use today on some of our most durable footwear. In those first years, a pair of shoes could be purchased for $1.75. The starting wage for employees is 25 cents an hour, and all employees are paid in gold and silver coins. Following Beckman's death, C.H. Boxrud transitions from vice president to president of the company until 1921. During this time, Boxrud hires J.R. Sweasy from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, to be a manufacturing supervisor at the shoe company in 1914. Then in 1919, Sweasy is elected general manager and soon after acquires enough stock to obtain control of the company and become president. Red Wing Shoes does make military footwear for both World War I and World War II. During World War II, Red Wing manufactures boots uniquely designed for paratroopers under the label Skytrooper. Red Wing then offers the Skytrooper boots in their wholesale catalog from 1953 to 1961. This particular image that you see on the screen is from the 1955 catalog. And in the teeny tiny type next to the Skytrooper image, it reads, "Ex-servicemen want this boot." William D. Sweasy, son of J.R. Sweasy, becomes president when J.R. passes away in 1949. Bill will continue as president until the 1970s, when Ole Jensen takes over this position. Bill remains chairman of the board of directors until his death in 1991. The first boot, specifically crafted for hunting, debuts in 1950 under the name Irish Setter. The boot features a distinctive russet red leather, a color that calls to mind a beloved hunting companion. With a few years, the iconic style number 877 and 875 are introduced. In 1956, Irish Setter introduces the first insulated boot. Then in 1968, Irish Setter introduces another new technology for footwear, waterproof leather. The brand takes a big leap forward in 2011 and comes out with a full offering of work and safety footwear for people who work in the trades. In 1952, a dramatic shift in the Red Wing Shoe Company business model is happening. Already we are a manufacturer and wholesaler. And in 1952, we now become a retailer as well. It starts with one store in Salt Lake City, Utah. The photo that you see on the screen is of that very first store in Salt Lake. The retail model of selling only one brand of footwear is unheard of at the time. The decision is a risky one for the company. However, leadership within the Red Wing Shoe Company holds firm to a long-range strategy of developing a new model to offer consumers premium comfort and quality footwear that the brand is built on. During a time when manufacturers are looking outside the US to expand operations during post-World War II, Red Wing Shoe Company reinvests on production manufacturing in Red Wing, Minnesota. W.D. Sweasy and other civic leaders championed the development of the Red Wing Industrial Park in the Burnside area. The photo that you see on the screen is the construction of Burnside Plant 2 in 1964. Sweasy is quoted as saying, "If we are privileged to grow, the industrial park is where we'd like our expansion to go. We are very fortunate to be in Red Wing." Red Wing Shoe Company is the first business to purchase land in the park, building a shipping warehouse there in 1959. By 1964, the original manufacturing facility, that's a tough word to say, in downtown Red Wing couldn't keep up with production, and a second factory, Burnside Plant 2, was opened in the industrial park. Plant 2 opens with cutting-edge footwear manufacturing technology, and Red Wing Shoes becomes the first footwear manufacturer to use a Formulast conveyor system in the United States. The new Plant 2 factory provides enough space for a dedicated research and development laboratory. With this investment, Red Wing engineers design many state-of-the-art manufacturing processes and equipment over the next 50+ years. And at this time, I'm going to take water because I've been talking and my voice is starting to crack a little bit. So we're going to take a pause. Let's move on to see what else is happening in 1964. The Vasque brand of outdoor footwear for hiking and backpacking is launched. At first, Vasque wasn't even Vasque. The brand was called Voyager. We got into a bit of trouble with the hat manufacturer that was already using the name Voyager. We had inventory of product with a V stamped onto the leather. So in order to save the inventory of a new name that started with the letter V is chosen, and that is Vasque. And the brand becomes a legendary in its own right, with innovative footwear like the Whitney, Sundowner, Clarion, and Breeze. Introduced in 1988, the Clarion was the definition of technology, versatility, and style. The image that you see on the screen now is an ad from the 90s of the Clarion. In fact, the Clarion was recently reintroduced by Vasque with the same color options it had in the awesome 80s. In 1977, this slide here, we're going to be talking about the St. James Hotel. Originally constructed in 1875, the St. James Hotel opens as an elegant lodging establishment in the busy port city of Red Wing. However, over time, the hotel failed to keep up with the modern amenities needed and fell into disrepair. As part of a long-standing commitment to community investments, Red Wing Shoe Company purchases and renovates the hotel to its Victorian grandeur. The first Red Wing shoe store outside the US opens in Frankfurt, Germany in 1977, marking the entry of Red Wing shoes into the lifestyle footwear market. And that market continues to grow in 1982. The shoe company develops a partnership with the Japanese distributor Midori International. The partnership lasts until the mid-2000s when Red Wing Japan Limited is formed. Today, we have more than a dozen high-end boutique Red Wing stores across Europe and Asia. These stores sell a different mix of product compared to what you would find in a US Red Wing shoe store. Bill J. Sweasy becomes president of the company, making Red Wing Shoe Company one of the few remaining owner-operated American shoe companies in 1985. Bill is retired now as president and CEO. However, he remains chairman of the board of directors. Currently, our president and CEO is Mark Erdahl, and Mark has a tenure of 17 years with the shoe company. There were a lot of reasons in 1986 that W.D. Sweasy and Buck Foote decided the time was right for the sale of the tannery to Red Wing Shoe Company. Today, we can't imagine the partnership any other way, and it's been good for both businesses and the community. SB Foote is a wholly owned subsidiary of Red Wing Shoe Company. We have invested well over $11 million in tannery technology and facility upgrades in the last 10 years. The tannery is the largest in the US. It uses only cattle hides and mainly from steers. Red Wing Shoe Company is not the tannery's only customer, but the shoe company is the largest. In 1994, manufacturing operations expand with the purchase of a facility in Potosi, Missouri. The Potosi facility is a key channel in the company's diverse supply chain operation. This photo that you see on the screen is from 2010, when former Missouri Governor Joe Nixon visited the Potosi facility. Centennial in 2005. This is when we made a very, very big gift for our community and for our customers. The boot is made of 80 hides from SB Foote leather, and the boot took about 4,000 hours and 13 months to design and build. And it was all done with volunteer time, including retirees, volunteers from the community, and employees. It was constructed in Plant 1, the original factory in downtown. And the photo that you see on the slide here is of the boot under construction. The boot is certified by Guinness World Record as the tallest leather boot. And it is a size 638 and a half. A person would have to be 120 feet tall or 12 stories to fit into the boot. For a time, the boot traveled around the country, and in 2009, the flagship store in downtown Red Wing was constructed, and it was specifically designed to accommodate the boot. And that's where it remains today, that you can go down, take a look at the boot for yourself, and have a photo taken with it. In the mid-2000s, Red Wing Heritage for Men launches with a collaboration with J. Crew, featuring boots inspired by 20th century working men's footwear. In 2016, Allison Gettings, great-granddaughter of J.R. Sweasy, launches Red Wing Heritage for Women with footwear inspired by the archives and crafted with timeless design. Allison continues to advance within the company. After her time spent in product development, launching the Heritage line, she advanced to president of Vasque and is currently the vice president of business services. And that brings us to today. Since 1905, we've grown a lot, but we haven't changed that much either. Our values and principles remain the same. And here, let's take a look at the numbers to see how much we've grown. We have over 2,100 employees worldwide, 700 retail stores, 8 warehouses, 8 corporate offices, 2 footwear facilities, and 2 leather tanneries. And in a way, we've also remained the same. We still manufacture footwear in Red Wing. We still make purpose-built footwear, and we still have an unwavering commitment for doing what's right for our employees, community, and customers. This has been a foundation to our success for 116 years, and it's been working pretty well for us, and that's a path that we're going to continue. With that concludes my formal presentation. We will go ahead and take a look in the chat and see what kind of questions you may have. Well, it looks like we don't have any questions in the chat, and that's fine. Like I said in the beginning of my presentation, I can pretty much talk all day about the history of the shoe company. So I invite you to put your questions in the chat. But for now, I am going to talk a few minutes